Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Midgard Golf. And we're back out here today for the Back 9 Part 2 here for the return in 2025 to 4 Mile Ranch Golf Course in Canyon City, Colorado. Of course, where Midgard Golf was born. So, always great to get back out here and experience it again and kind of see how the course is keeping up through the years, so to speak. So, onto this back nine here, the 10th hole. Kind of a short one, and we're playing the combo blue and white tees this day here. So we're playing the course at 5811, but it tips out all the way to 7,053 yards. So you can play it pretty long, but we're playing it pretty relaxingly short. But yeah, we've got a gentleman playing with us today, Will's stepfather, I believe. But anyway, yeah, and he's never seen the course before, so yeah, it's good to kind of push it up a little bit for him. Anyway, short hole we have here in front of us anyway, playing for us on the blue tees for this hole at 327 yards, tipping out at 398. So, but, I mean, not all that long, but kind of tricky, really. You kind of got to have some, institutional knowledge here to really know how to play it. So, that big hill, or rather there's kind of two big hills you can see over there off to the right side of the fairway. The green will be right on the other side of those, but those hills are just the beginning, and then there's quite a bit of desert terrain and, hilly desert terrain just beyond those as well before you get to the green, which is a rather sizable green, especially in the back side of it. And you've definitely got a ton of backboard support up there, so not a whole lot to worry about if you fly this green a little long. Flying it short, and especially putting it left, will put you in this Grand Canyon type of deal they got to the left of the green there. But to the right and long is definitely where you want to miss. But off the tee shot here, I like to hit somewhere between a 4-iron and a 2-iron, depending on the wind. And the wind is howling right in our face this day on this tee box here. So I am today opting with the 2-iron, but I've put myself on a calm day right in the garden spot with a perfect little 135-yard shot on the green with a 4-iron as well. And my 4-iron tops out at around 250 when I hit it really clean. So there you have it. But it's a hard dog leg right there. Although, I mean, a fade is not necessary for the shot that you're likely going to have to play off the tee box. So, yeah, just keep it somewhere out in that green stuff and try to get it past the mounds, as I mentioned before, that you can see off to the right side of the fairway there, and you'll have a nice clear look on this green. So, 2-iron in hand, let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 11th hole in our first par 5 of this back 9 here, and there will be 3 of them, and there will be 3 par 3s and 3 par 4s. It's kind of neat. I love this back 9 for that, how it's a 3-3-3 sort of combo of holes relative to the par of those holes. I love courses like that. But anyway, and this one gives it to you, so that's cool. And this hole here, the number 2 handicap on the course, and well earned at that, in my opinion there. So we're playing it. It's got us on the whites at only 456 yards. Tips out at 544. So, yeah. And so the hole shape itself here, it goes uphill pretty much the entire way, save for the small bit of fairway that you can see directly in front of you from the tee box. But if you opt to lay up into that very, very short fairway right in front of you, then it's going to be a long hole to get the rest of the way through it to the green. You're going to be hitting, something very long and hopefully smash the heck out of it all the way uphill, a fairly steep hill at that, to try to get on in 2. And it's a fat chance you're going to do it. And then, but so more likely that you're going to be shooting kind of a wedge shot, like a flop shot, if you choose that option, up onto this plateau of a green there. So my line is always, if you're playing the white tees there and you look off to the left, you'll see a kind of a ridge line, and if you follow that ridge line out in the distance, when it starts to kind of drop off as you scan it to the left there, that's sort of where I like to aim my shot and cut that corner quite a bit there. You can hit a fade shape over that and you're just fine. You can hit a draw shape and you're just fine. And I'm measuring it on Google Earth here. On that line, it's about 285 yards to get to the middle of the fairway there. So about 275 or so, maybe 265 if you shave the correct line there. To carry all of the desert stuff that you'll be hitting over. And from there, if you do pull off that shot, especially if you pull it off with a draw, you're probably going to have somewhere between 230 and 180, depending on your shot shape, if you do make the fairway, in order to get on that green in 2. So, yeah, very attackable, but it takes a lot of risk right off the tee box to try to give yourself that shot, so take heed. The green itself there, you've got a fair amount of backboard support directly behind the green there that kind of encompasses most of the back of the green all the way kind of to the back right and the back left. So, yeah, I would certainly take the club to make sure you're going to get there, because if you end up going long on the green anyway, no worries. And the slope is not that drastic that the chip downhill is going to be all that difficult for you, in my opinion. However, also, it's, of course, not that drastic, like I just said, so your chances of it bouncing you back onto the green are pretty slim as well. So, pick your poison on this hole. I've got the big old D-stick in hand, taking my line like I described before, over there off to the left, over the desert terrain. Let's see if I can clear it all and give myself a nice short shot to try to get on this green in 2 on this awesome par 5. Let's check it out. right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 12th hole and the first par 3 of our back 9 here. And the number 18 handicap on the course. And yeah, I'd say that's about right. This is this is about the easiest hole you can get on this course. And at that, it's not all that easy of one. I mean, you've got a series of tee boxes and you've got a nice big old green, and that's about it. You do have a little bit of rough length grass right before the green, but really not much. So you really want to try to nail this yardage. The green itself is one of the most drastically undulating greens I think I've ever seen, but in a very uniform fashion where it's basically a big old V cut right in the middle there. And I think every time I've played this course, the flag has been in that depression. Yeah, beautiful view out here, that's for sure. Give you a little pano of that. So obviously, I mean, wherever the flag is, you want to hit it there. If you're up high on one of the sides of the depression there, and the flag happens to be down there in the depression, it's going to be quite the steep drop off, obviously, when you're putting down towards the hole. But if you happen to be in the depression and the flag is up on top, on one of the top tiers there, then that will be quite an awkward putt as well. So being pin high here, whatever that means, whether it's in the valley or up on the top tier, is going to be your most important thing here. So playing at 160 yards for us, tipping out at 166. I have the 9-iron in hand. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do.
Good putt.
That was really well done. On an inch left. Okay, what just is it?
There. Good fucking par. How do you like them apples? I like those apples a lot.
Thank you. That was par. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 13th hole. And a really cool sort of snaking par 4 we've got here. Playing for us on the whites here at only 367 yards, and the blues are 413, and the tips are all the way out to a whopping 482 yards. But the further back you go for your tee box, the higher elevation advantage you get. So, yeah, you've got that working for you too. So it really doesn't play all that far when you're all the way back on the tips there, because you're quite elevated above the hole. However, if the wind is ripping in your face, then that kind of takes a lot of that help out of you anyway. So, yeah, you've got that to worry about. But for us, pretty simple this day here. So, the hole itself here. You've got quite a large landing area there early in the hole right out in front of you. Very inviting for anything you want to hit. Certainly enough room to hit driver if you're playing one of the further back tee boxes. However, it's only about, from the tips, it's only about 230 yards to make it to the beginning of the fairway, and a 290-yard shot will put you right in the middle of the early part of the fairway there. So, yeah, you can certainly hit driver from there, no problem. Or, whatever else you want if you're really not feeling it. Whatever you happen to be playing that day. However, from our tee box, a 290-yard shot will put you in about as literal of a hotel hallway as you can get of a fairway, because it skinnies up real quick on you. when you get about from the beginning of the fairway about halfway down the hole there after the forced clearance, not counting that. So, yeah, once you get down to there, it's basically a riverbed sort of fairway looking thing that takes you the rest of the way to the green. And then it opens up back a little bit right before the green, and of course they put the green up on a plateau for you. You've got really no backboard support here, so you definitely don't want to be long. But if you happen to be a little short, and as you'll watch this hole, I don't shot trace or anything, but I actually ended up stabbing this green and then spinning it all the way off the front and rolling all the way down that hill, right through the rough length stuff. So that hill right in front of that green, real steep. So, I mean, play it Scotty Scheffler style. When you're attacking this green is my advice. And really just go for the middle. Don't try to get cute with it and stick it right on that pin. You're probably going to be disappointed for whatever you do. Unless you happen to hit that number, and then, hey, you know what? Good for you. Back to the drive, though, here. Definitely the good side miss is to the left. That's really going to be the only place where you'll have an angle to get up on the green. If you do hit it to the right, I've been up on that hill, that desert hill to the right before. Fair chance you're going to find your ball, though, but that's a gnarly shot to try to hit it off of that kind of desert shale and stab this green like that. So, anyway. I would say the left side is where you'd want to miss in order to have yourself a nice, pleasant shot up onto the screen. Albeit, it'll probably be a long one. So, let's give it a rip and see what we can do. I've got the 2-iron in hand. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 14th hole. And probably one of the most unique par 3s I've ever seen in my life. Certainly the only blind par 3 I've ever seen. That's right. That's right, ladies and gents. You can't see any part of the green. You have no idea where the flag is from your tee box here. I don't care where you're teeing off from. Completely blind. So it's got us on the whites here at 141 yards, but it tips out all the way out to 217. Gets pretty lengthy back there. But especially since you're staring it down and you're like, what am I doing here? Am I just hitting into the desert? Did they just let this green overgrow or something like that? Is this hole just dead? No. There's that little white stick on top of that hill there, and that is what you're meant to hit over. And yeah, so they got a little flag over there off to the cart path to the left. If you take the lefterly cart path up to the green, you also can take the right side cart path up to the green, which will take you to the next hole. But then you'll have to walk all the way across the green in order to raise the flag, so do whatever you want from there. Yeah, the flag obviously lets people know if the course happens to be busy that day that there's somebody still on the green. So polite to raise it while you're there and lower it when you're gone, so that yeah, everybody knows. Yep, okay, it's clear to shoot now, because otherwise they can't see you. All right, so this green though, I mean it's a bowl green, so that's nice. So if you do hit the correct yardage, you do clear that hill. I mean, really, really good chance you're going to stay on this green here. You've got a fair amount of backboard support behind the green, and the hill that's right in front of you is steep enough to where even if you do kind of bounce around on top of it a little bit, so long as it's got enough forward trajectory on the roll, good chance that you're going to roll off of that hill and get down onto the green anyway. From left to right, the green is massive. So, I mean, if you aim over the white stick there, you're going to be about center right of the green. Yeah, so and it does become a longer shot the further right you go. So, take heed and really pick where you're going to shoot at. Depending on the part of the green that you're going to hit. Because some people do like to drive all the way up there and check out where the flag is and then drive back and hit their tee shot. I mean, in my mind, that's kind of cheating, because it's like, Jim-ing, I think, he's the course architect, Jim-ing. He's trying to just say, you know what? Golf's supposed to be fun, man. Don't get out there and try to strategize and stick every pin out there and be Tiger Woods or whatever. Just get out there and have fun, dude. Just hit over this hill like it was mini golf and it's a windmill in front of you. All right, just chill. I think that was probably his mindset in developing this hole. At least I hope it was anyway, because that would be a nice sentiment. So anyhow, the last time we were out here and I played this course off camera, I actually stabbed this green quite well with a 52-degree wedge, so that's what I am pulling out of the bag today. And, well, as you're about to see, I probably should have taken the wind into account this day, and my line that I chose to take. So, let's give it a rip and see what we do on this hole. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to big number 15, our second par 5 of this back 9 here. And the hole that's in contention for my favorite hole on this course. This hole, I should say, just has so much character. I just love it. So, every aspect of it, every shot, I love it. So, par 5 here, like I said, we're playing it from the whites today as it's got us on at 484 yards, tips out at 579. But again, just like the last par 4, the further back you are, the more of an elevation advantage you get. So it plays less and less, the further back you are. So, yeah, a little history. So if you guys are new to the channel, if you're watching this video now, This is the hole, my first vlog ever when I was out here. I actually nailed a, no kidding, on the number, and I was playing the blues that day. I nailed a 400 yard on the button drive as I measured it on my GPS there. So that was super cool. Still my longest drive to date. Downhill, albeit, okay, I get it, right? But still, I hit 4 bills. That was cool. So, and it was in the fairway, so that made it even cooler. And the part of the fairway that it was in was the skinniest part of the fairway on the hole. So that was cool. So anyway, enough reminiscing there about the past. So this hole here, there's a lot of different ways you can play it. You can lay up your first shot here and stay in that nice wide open fairway that's staring at you right in front of you. You can go to bomb it and, hope that you don't end up on that desert hill to the right or left. I know from personal experience, though, that if you hit either one of those hills, fair shot that your ball will bounce back into play. If you're hitting a draw side, over to that left hill there, good chance it'll bounce you back into the right. Same thing if you're hitting a fade shape at that right hill, fair chance it'll bounce you back into the left. Unless you really carve it out there or really hook it out there and then you get up on top of it and then you're kind of hosed. But yeah, you can go for it, and if you can clear all of it and get over it all, then the fairway does widen up quite a bit thereafter as well. But that is one monstrous shot to clear the skinnying section of the fairway there to get all the way out there. That's well over 4 bills from the tips, that's for sure. So good luck with that. Okay, so when you are making your second shot there, and I've seen it greened in two from behind that hill. You can see off to the right on the tee box here. It's about a, let's see here. So Greg did it. My buddy who's actually playing with me this day, but off camera. He did it with a 5-iron. I think he hits his 5-iron about 200 yards, maybe 220. So yeah, it's about that shot to get over there. But now, as you're looking at the hill, because the green is completely blind again, so the hole plays pretty well straight out, right, until the end of the fairway, and then takes a 90-degree sharp dog leg to the right, where it's just this skinny sliver of fairway that shoots you right onto the green there. Now, there's a trick here, right? So from wherever your drive goes, if you got the yardage left on your GPS or whatever to try to attack the green into, have confidence. I'm going to give you the secret here, all right? As you look at the hill off to the right of the fairway, the green is on the other side of it. You will see a little green power box, right, on top of that hill. You want to hit it just over that power box or a little bit left of it. If you do that, and nail the number for whatever distance you have on to the green there, and you hit that line on that number, whatever you got left, you're going to be on in two. So that's the secret to getting on this green in two there. And it's another bowl green where you've got backboard support, sideboard support, like everything. So just try to hit that number, and if you're a little bit off, long or short, then fair chance your ball will roll onto the green anyway. So give it a rip is my advice to you, and yeah, try to get on and have that eagle putt. So I got the driver in hand. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do. Of course, I'm going for the big bomb shot. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 16th hole and the final par 4 for us this day. So, yep, playing for us on the blues here at 364 yards, tipping out at 402. So, a fairly healthy par 4 by all standards there for whatever skill level you are in tee box you're playing. But yeah, the tee boxes, again, they kind of step ladder uphill as you go further back. So you get more of an elevation advantage the further back you go yet again. Really cool desert scene looking out from this tee box, though. I mean, I just love the character of this hole in that regard, no doubt. So, yeah, whole strategy here. The green is kind of tucked back beyond the sort of dirt mound that you can see way out in the distance there that's obviously still on the hole to the right. And it's a very sizable green, but seriously back to front, almost to the point where it's like 2-tier. But it's kind of a sloping 2-tier, but yeah, anyway, that's the best I can describe it anyway. And the back of the green is definitely much larger than the front of the green, that's for sure. So that said, if you miss to the right, so if you hit a fade out there and get yourself right in front of that kind of dirt mound there off to the kind of deep and right side of the fairway, you will absolutely have a nice short shot up onto this green. However, it will be a blind one over that dirt hill there. If you miss to the left, then there's less room for you to kind of miss, right? You do have a fair amount of fairway over there off to the left, and then rough length, and then some kind of flat desert sort of terrain out there that's not really the shale. It's kind of dried up, sort of grassy type of stuff. Anyway, you're about to see it, so don't worry. But you will have a much more clear shot on the green missing to the left, that's for sure. Albeit, it will likely be a longer one. So that's kind of your poison to choose from there. Once you get up on the green there, you don't have a great deal of backboard support, but if you do fall off the back of the green, there is a pretty healthy amount of kind of rough length grass behind the green to catch your ball, so I wouldn't worry about it disappearing if you just barely, kind of blade one, or just catch one a little too pure and end up flying the green just slightly long. So don't worry about it. So without further ado, I've got the driver in hand, and I'm just trying to pipe it down this fairway, man, because if you can, there's a speed slot that will take you down there and make this green all but drivable. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 17th hole and the final par 3 for our day here out at 4 Mile Ranch. So a really cool one here, although sort of my nemesis, because I don't know why, but I always seem to misjudge the distance on this green here. It looks a lot closer than it really is. So yeah, that sort of white, like really bright hill right in front of the green there. Yeah, it makes it look like the green is right over that, but you definitely have a little bit of space past that hill to play with on the green there. So although you can't really see most of it, yeah, you've got plenty. So, and the further left you go, the deeper you're going to have to shoot in order to make sure that you clear that little like white sort of wall, dirt wall that guards the green to the front. And let me tell you, from personal experience, several times, that is not fun to try to flop it over. So you're probably putting chips in your wedge in order to do so. So definitely, yeah, if you've got a GPS or whatever, or laser rangefinder, yeah, find whatever the yardage is for the middle of this two-tiered green, this kind of string bean of a two-tiered green. That's a long rhyme, huh? And hit that yardage, right? If the pin's up front and you hit the middle of the green, hey, happy days, right? That slope is hard enough to where it's probably going to spin you all the way back down to, somewhere around where that hole is anyway. So, good for you. There's no way that you're holding a ball right in the middle of that green there, so don't worry about it, right? If the pin is all the way in the back, then simply get that yardage and then hit that, right? Because, yeah, no way you want to be putting from the front of the green up onto the back tier of the green. Yeah, that's just got 3-putt written all over it. So if the pin's in the back, really try to stick it in the back. That's for sure. It's the only way you're giving yourself a chance to make birdie or par. So, unless you pull off some kind of a crazy hero putt from the bottom tier up to the top. Or vice versa, really. You wouldn't want to be on the top and shooting down. That's probably got 3-putt written on it, too. So, anyway, missing left or right, just don't do it. That's my advice. You really don't have a whole lot of room to miss left or right in either direction. So, yeah, really try to hit a pure one here. Maybe take a little more club and take a 3/4 swing. I don't know what you're going to do, but try to hit one as pure as you can. All right, let's give it a rip and see what we can do. And I have the pitching wedge in hand. Let's check it out.
fucking held it up, man. It's right into the ball. You know, I would give it to
Wind
you.
might have impacted that.
Huh?
Wind might have impacted that.
Down 3. Take everything to bed. That's fair. Get in. Good putt. 3, baby. How do you like that? How do you like them apples? Good fucking putt.
All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 18th hole. And of course, the final hole of our day here. So thank you guys so very much for joining us for another episode of Midgard Golf here, especially it being my first round back since I broke my ankle earlier this winter. It means a lot to me for everybody who watches this first round back here, where I'm finally able to vlog again. So hopefully I will be able to do much more. I've got a tournament coming up at the Pinery, which is, of course, it's not on the channel yet, on the 2nd of June. So, of course, I'm going to be filming that and hanging up that course, and I'm really excited for that. That's up in Parker, Colorado. So, yeah, pretty cool it will be to have that content and hang it up on the channel here. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Throw us a like and subscribe if you're liking this content, and we hope to see you back again soon. And if you've got any courses that you want to see vlogged, especially in the central Colorado area where we're based out of, yeah, drop us a comment in the comment section down there, and I will see what I can do about getting out there and vlogging it for you if I have not done so already in the rather vast library we have built here on the channel. So anyway, enough jibber jabber. On to this final hole here, the last par 5 of our day as well. So, and quite the inviting one at that. This is sort of the take a deep breath, you're almost home hole. You know, nice and flat, right? You can see basically the entire hole right from the tee box. You just got to love it. It dogs a little bit to the right at the end there, but not so much that, you know, not a whole lot to write home about. Not a whole lot of blind shot action on this hole. Unless you happen to miss really badly to the right there and get yourself in front of the desert hill that kind of lines the right side of the fairways you can see out there. However, in my opinion, right, obviously you're going to have a clearer shot if you miss to the left, right, and just stay in some green grass somewhere. But from that angle, you're likely going to have a longer shot to try to get home into. If you stay to the right, then yeah, you're going to shave off some distance on this hole, but you kind of have to be precise about it and put it just to the right kind of line off to the right, like stay fairway or just off the fairway in order to give yourself that line. Otherwise, the desert hill there off to the right is going to block you in. So that's, in my opinion, the best line to get on into. However, I have gotten on this green into from all over this fairway. So just grip it and rip it, pound one down there as hard as you can, give it everything you got. It's the end of the day. You can see your chiropractor later. And yeah, try to give yourself an eagle opportunity on this awesome finishing par 5. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do.